Welcome back to the Goku Runner Talks Podcast. On this episode, we have Summer Corville. You guys ever have those runners in your city that you're like, I didn't know that there's people running the same races I'm doing, or they're doing awesome things like 250-mile ultra marathons, and you had no idea who they were. And I just found out about Summer maybe about a year or two ago, and I've always been interested in her journey, and I'm wanting to find out a little bit more. So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast and welcome, Summer. So glad to have you on here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Did you go for a run today yet, or what?
No. I've been doing field day. I teach PE, so we had field day today, so I had to do that.
Okay, cool. So,
Mhm.
I was, all the running scene here in Southeast Texas. There's a lot of runners, and for some reason, I didn't know about you until I think I started following Jenny, and then she would post about you, and then she saved her friends running this crazy distance, and I was like, man, there's all these like runners in the area that you don't know, but I feel like a lot of people know like the local running community, but there's some outliers like you who are doing some crazy things outside of of the running community that everybody knows, the local ones. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
how do you trade, and where do you trade, and how did you how did you become Summer, like the crazy runner?
Well, I had my last baby, so I gained some weight, so I thought, "Oh, well, let me, run a little bit to try to lose some weight." And then, like, at that time, I didn't know anything about distances, races, like, nothing like that. And, I kinda started researching it, and I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if I could do a marathon." So, I set my goal to do the Gusher Marathon,
Okay.
and so I gave myself a year running and, trying to get in shape and stuff like that, and I did the Gusher. I think it was the last year that they had it.
Yeah, so I was like 2016, 2017, something like that, I think. Maybe 2018.
Yes. Yeah, I think I had that race was in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you did the marathon.
I did the marathon, yeah.
So, did you train up to that, or did you do any other distances before that?
So, I think the only race that I did before that, I did the Sabine Causeway 5K. And fun fact, you were there because I had I was trying to research the race because I'd never done a race before, so I was, like, so scared,
Uh-huh.
and I had ran across your videos on, you reviewing the races and stuff like that, and I saw you there with your camera, and I was like, "Oh, I watch his YouTube."
There's that
So,
guy, the crazy guy.
yeah.
So you went 5K to marathon, and like, where did this come from? Like, were you athletic as a kid? What was it?
I was athletic. Um, I didn't I played soccer in high school, but I guess I was athletic, but I didn't like sport. I wasn't into sports and stuff like
Hmm.
that, but
Right.
I wasn't like non-athletic. If
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
you weren't into like organized sports probably, but you
no,
did a lot of
no.
sports outside of that, right?
Like, I did soccer in high school, but I was, like, on JV, and I just
Okay.
didn't put a lot of effort in any sports or anything like that. That just wasn't my thing.
Okay. And then you found running after your fifth child, right? So now you have 5 kids, right?
Yes, I have 5 kids, and I started running after my 5th.
Wow. So tell me about your first marathon. How did it go? Did it go as planned?
The
Was it like the perfect marathon?
Did you've ran the Gusher?
Yeah, I've ran the
Had
Gusher.
Okay, so, It it was rough. It was
Yeah.
rough. It was like I was so slow that, like, there was nobody out there with me, Like, I was just it was a rough race.
Well,
Yeah,
especially
I
if you
think I
ran
finished
the last year, I think there was not as many people running the
n
marathon because it's a two loop course.
nope.
So the first loop you're
Yeah.
kind of together with people, but the second loop, I think anybody who's running that second loop, you're gonna feel like you're
I
in a
was all by myself.
apocalypse world, right?
Yes, 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 but it didn't stop me. So,
Uh-huh.
that was my first race, and it didn't stop me.
And what was your time? Do you remember your time?
I think my time was 5:20 maybe? I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty good for your first one. I mean, and then what was your next one? Did you go marathons or did you jump right away to ultra marathons? Because you went from 5K to marathon, and I feel like
Yeah, so I did that one, and then I think I kinda dabbled in I did, like, the pleasure what was the Pleasure Island?
yeah,
Pleasure that one
Pleasure
over the
Island Bridge
oh,
Run. Hmm.
yeah, so I did that one, and then I did, they had a little race at, down in Lumberton, what was it called? Like, a lit at the Lumberton League Park,
Yeah, I
the
forgot what
Little
that was
League
called.
Park.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I dabbled in just a few, and then, I did the Sasquatch Shuffle, 31 miles.
And where is that
So
at?
and that was it. Where was that at? I have notes. Can I read notes?
Yeah, go ahead. Read your
Okay,
notes.
yeah, cause my brain I got 5 kids, like,
Because I feel like
um,
I've seen a lot of your races that
it
there are
was
not too many local. You don't do too many local races nowadays. It's mostly
no.
uh, out of the state.
Yeah, that one was not I don't think it was in Huntsville, but it was in that area.
Okay. Oh, I think that is
Yeah,
the Sasquatch one. Yeah, someone told me they used to have one at the Rocky
Tejas Trail,
Raccoon.
not Tejas.
Um,
Mission Tejas?
yeah,
I don't
Mission. No, I think
remember.
it's Tejas Trails. No, you're right. It's another.
Mission Tejas. I thought it was the state park.
Yeah,
I don't remember. But
yeah.
it is local, and,
Okay.
I can't remember who put it on.
So what made you love ultra running? Because how many? Tell everybody how many 100 miles you've done. Just say how many ultra marathons have you done so far?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. I've done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, those are including some DNFs, but, past the ultramarathon ultramarathon distance with those.
Yeah. So and then how many 100 milers were of those are those? Just 100 milers.
100 milers, I did Silver Hills, mm, and then official 100-mile races, like, where it was, like, supposed to be a 100-mile distance or
Hmm.
where,
Like
did
where
I
you
just do
completed the where you got a buckle.
Silver Hills 100? That one, yeah, was my only one that was official 100-mile where I got a buckle.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what do you mean official? So did you DNF the other ones, or you do races where you just go out there and do 100 miles? I feel like was it you and your husband who did a crazy distance together? Did I see
No,
that?
mm-mm.
No.
I did no, I did 40 miles for my birthday
Uh-huh.
in January,
Okay.
but no, my husband, he's my support crew.
Okay, that's good.
That's what he does.
You always need
Mhm.
one. I feel like every good ultra runner needs a good support crew. That's what really makes it
Yeah,
happen.
yes, yeah.
So how do you find all the time to train for all this? Since you do have 5 kids, you have the farm to take care of, you have all that.
Hmm. I I don't know. I I think I might not run as much as people probably think.
Hmm.
Like, when I was training for the 200, I would
Yeah.
have, like, 1 long run a week,
Hmm.
and then the rest of the runs were not long. They weren't
Yeah.
long,
Hmm.
and then I did a lot of weights, and I did a lot of sled pulls, and I do those at my house when the kids are outside playing, and
Yeah.
I do have a treadmill. I don't use the treadmill a whole bunch, but I do have that.
Yeah, I feel
So
I don't know. How fast are you? Like, how are you super fast, or what do you consider yourself a middle of the pack or whatever? Because I really I know you're finishing these races, and I know you're
well, it's like
badass, but
those up there say dead fucking last, okay? I have 2 of those up there. So I am, on those ultras, I'm coming in hot, yeah. So
Awesome. Hey, that's me too. I'm always barely getting those the time limits and DNF, DLF, and whatever. So yeah, so me and you can hang for sure.
yeah, I'm always, like, chasing the cutoffs. That's pretty much what I do on those runs, so
Yeah, so I think that is like that's just goes to show how important it is to do those long runs because whenever you're training, I feel like people are always like talking about, oh, I missed my Monday, Tuesday run. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Those runs don't matter. It's that
mm-mm.
long run at the end of the
Yeah,
week that's more important. If you miss
mhm,
that one, that's the one that's going to hurt you during your race. And
yeah,
also, ultra marathons are very mental. Like if you
they
like
are.
you could push your body through. You've had 5 kids, so you could push your body through anything for sure. Right. What do you tell yourself during those long runs or the ultra marathons, like that 200 miler, when it gets tough? What are you telling yourself during those times to like just push yourself? Because I mean that 200 miles, 3 days. You said you got like 2.5 hours of sleep during those 3 days. That
Yeah.
had to be something crazy, and you said it was life changing.
So I started Wednesday at 4 a.m. and then I finished on Sunday evening. So that was like 4 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So it really depends. Sometimes I'm really, really hard on myself and I'm in a really bad
Mhm.
headspace, and then other times um I'm just focusing on finishing or thinking about how it feels to drop out of a race because I've had to, drop out several times. So just thinking about like how that feels and just, I mean, I guess it just varies on the course, the course of, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. That
not the actual course, but
the
it just varies depending.
Yeah. So, like those races, I feel like you're mentally tough, but then you said the elevation over there was like pretty, you know.
Oh, yeah. So the 200 had 40,000 feet of
Oh my
climb.
goodness.
And I live
Yeah.
here, like, I ain't got nothing. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
So
So 40,000 for us Southeast Texas. Like people don't even know how flat Southeast Texas are. So if you're from Southeast Texas, you know it. But whenever we see any kind of hills, we're like, dang, that's a mountain. So 40,000 feet of elevation. Was it the sled pulls that helped you to do that, or
I really think it was the sled pull. So, I had me and my friend Corinne, we attempted to do the, Beaverhead, 100K. That's in Idaho.
okay?
And, it's, going up a mountain and all that kinda stuff, and it had really strict cutoff, so we didn't make the cutoff, and, I mean, people are literally flying past us, and it's like, "What are we doing wrong?"
Mm.
And we researched it, and they said sled pulls are v super important, so that is a staple in my
So
running.
is it like a
So,
how's this? It's like a tire, or
it
it's literally a sled?
it It is, a piece of
Uh
plywood
huh.
with a rope on it, and I just pile all my weights on it. I think I've gotten up to, like, 120
Holy
pounds
moly!
on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then I'll drag it to the end of my driveway and then drag it back, and then I'll do a few sprints and then drag it, and then just stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and that is pulling the sled feels just like going up,
mm,
you know, the mountains or whatever, that burning feeling,
hmm,
so I think those help.
man. So are you also using poles? Because I mean, I would use poles for sure. I use them at Rocky Raccoon, and that's only like
Oh,
7,000 feet of
yes.
elevation.
Yes, yes, I definitely use my poles for sure.
Well, so what do you think
Mhm.
about people calling them? But I feel like if you're doing 40,000 feet of elevation, nobody's calling you out for using poles. They're like,
No, no, everybody has
everybody.
poles, everybody has poles. Yes,
It's only like when you're at Rocky Raccoon, you take out your poles, people look at you a little funny.
yes, yes, everybody has poles. Oh, what's funny is, What happened? Oh, the first 100 miler that I did was in Colorado, and it had close to 20,000 feet of gain, and I forgot my pole.
Oh man.
So I found a stick. I wish I could find it.
Oh, you brought it home for you from
But
Colorado?
I see it. Yes, I did. So I found a stick and I used the stick and my fingers wore the stick.
Yeah.
Let me get it.
I'm sure did it cause you blisters too? I'm sure on that finger where you're rubbing?
No, I guess not, or I wasn't. Look at this.
Wow.
I brought it home and then like how funny is this? Like it's like wore smooth from me holding it.
Man,
So yeah, I took that stick home. Yes.
man, that's impressive.
Yes. Oh,
So, so tell me about like why do you feel like the need to go longer and further? Because 100 miles is one thing, but you did that 200 mile. What's that? Sangrito Cristo? Was that the one you did?
uh yeah, the Sangre de Cristo, that was the little
Little
mountain
Mountain Range.
range that it was in. Little.
So why did you feel the need of because 100 miles is already crazy. 200 miles is like you are effing nuts, right?
Yeah. I think part is I can't it's hard for me to grasp
Hmm.
the distance and, the elevation and all that kinda stuff. Like, I'm very like, "Oh, this looks cool. Let's do this," or, "What's this gonna be about?" Like, I'm really, um, laid back with that,
Hmm.
and, it's not until I get in it and I'm like, "Holy shit, 200 miles is freaking far," you know? So, I don't know, and then also I think about how I didn't think I could do a 50 mile,
Hmm.
and I did Rocky 50 and I'm like, well, I could do that. And I didn't think I could. And then I did the 100. And so it's part of thinking I can't do something and not ever going there, not experiencing that and then realizing I can do it. So then it's like, well, where's my limit?
Hmm.
If I thought 50 was my limit at a time, then what is my true limit?
Wow.
So that is and then I love being in the woods. I love, being dirty and just in the woods for days and all that. Like, I love that. I love the trail
Hmm.
community. So it's just a mix of all those things, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can see like I think anybody could like see that in themselves whenever you're doing your first 5K. You're like, I don't think I could do more than that. I'm not going to do anything else. And then you do a 10K and then you keep moving up. So I don't know if I still
Mhm.
need to get that 100-mile buckle because I did Rocky Raccoon. I got up to 80 miles, but one day
You can do it.
I'm
You
gonna get
can
there.
do it. You can do it.
I'm gonna have Summer as
And it's
my
like
pacer.
yes. And that's what I tell people. It's like, if I can do it, like, you can do it. Whatever thought you have in your head or in your
Yeah,
heart that you wanna do something, you can do it. Put in the work. Gotta put in the work, but you can do it, you
yeah.
know? And so and it's just, thinking about, like, your break when you do ultras, there's always that breaking point. You get to that point where you're just completely broken. So, I find it neat seeing my breaking point keep moving and moving,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I just like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can feel that. Like, especially my 100 miler. That during my 80 miler when I got to the DNF point, there was a point where I was like, I can't do anymore. I can't walk any faster. And then after I already knew I DNF'd, I pushed my body to go harder. Like I was actually running at one point. I was like,
Mhm.
where was
Yeah.
this before? So
Yeah, yeah, I thought I couldn't
yeah,
even
I thought I
walk,
couldn't even
and
walk
then
up a
you're
hill, and here I
running.
am,
Yeah.
running down these hills, jumping over roots,
Mhm.
and then that just goes to show your mind is stronger than your body, and that's what I was going to use for my next 100 miler, but I broke my ankle and did all that stuff. So have you had any injuries?
Did you do
What?
um, I haven't.
That's good. Knock on
No.
wood. Did I do what?
No, I I haven't. Oh, did you do the Rocky 100 when it was
Yeah,
muddy?
that was my first
When
attempt
it
with
was
yeah,
flooding?
that's my first attempt. It was the worst ever.
Oh, that was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild.
For somebody's first attempt at 100, I
Like,
got the worst
that
conditions ever. I could have finished like
the
last year was like perfect conditions. I wish I would have had that, but
mhm.
man, that one
Yeah,
year.
that was the worst weather I've ever seen in a race. My, cousin Austin, he did the
Uh-huh.
50, and I went out there to watch him or whatever. It was flooding.
That's why I know that's what people like. I mean, I could have went harder and I could have went further, but then there's people that like will text me and be like, "What happened to you? Was your mind not in it?" Da 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 da. I'm like, the conditions were so tough. You don't understand unless you were out there. Like people are thinking it's like my body I wasn't trained enough. I was like, the conditions were
Yeah, it's
tough. But
I didn't swim. There was no swimming in my training, okay?
so so tell me about like more. What else are you trying to do? Are you trying to do another like Cocodona 250? I saw you were following Courtney DeWalter and doing all that. Are you, that's what you could do for
Well,
sure.
I always have FOMO when the Cocodona 250 rolls around. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might try it one year. I don't
Yeah.
know. Hmm. And then they had the Monster 300 that just passed. And, yeah, so I guess I have some
How much
options
are
out
these
there.
races? Like, I'm sure they get expensive for I mean, the hundreds are already expensive. How much was the 200 race?
My 200 was free.
Okay, that's good.
So I run with Human Potential Running
Mhm.
Series, and his prices are amazing.
Okay.
So I think for the 200, it would have been
Mhm.
$400 maybe. 400. So compare that to Cocodona 250 is $1,500. That's a big price. And then the Monster 300 is $1,900. So,
So it was
but his 100 miler is they're around $300, $400. But if you get a dead fucking last,
Mhm.
that comes with the free
Oh,
race entry.
awesome.
So, yeah, it worked out there, and then, I attempted the 200 before, the year
Uh-huh.
prior, and he hid keys along the course at the aid
Mhm.
stations, and if you found the key, he had a big old thing of locks, and you got to see if your key undid a lock,
Huh.
and I found 2 keys, and one of them undid a lock, so I got a year of free
Oh,
races,
that's
so
kinda fun.
that's
I might
mhm.
have to steal that
Yeah.
idea for one of my races. I
Yeah,
like
it
that.
is a good idea because it was fun going into the aid station and trying to, find a key and yeah, it
So
was
when did you
fun.
unlock it? You unlocked it at the end of the race or during your race?
Um, Whenever the whole race is finished and, the last one comes in or whatever, and, anybody that has a key can try to unlock it.
Okay. So have your kids gotten into running because they're inspired by you? And I know as a kid, I feel like running isn't the most exciting thing to do, right? But I don't know, maybe because they've seen you do it so many
Yeah.
times, they're excited.
Um Yeah, I have 2 that, ran I did the Possum
Mhm.
what was it?
Lessons
Possum
Revenge.
the 69 miler?
Mhm.
Yes, and then my kids did, the 8 miler,
Wow.
and I think Piper, my daughter, she's 12, she the 2nd place or 3rd in her age group? I don't know, she did well.
Mhm.
Both of them did really good in it. Um, so they like it, but it's kinda like they don't like, with my distances and stuff like that, they don't I guess they're so used to it that it's not like, "Oh," well, they're just like, "Oh, mom did a 100 mile, okay, what's that?" Like, "Okay."
It's a normal thing for
So,
them. They're like, "Oh yeah, she's doing another one."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, so where are you training? Are you training in Lumberton? You're training at 421 that park over there?
Yeah, yeah. So, we have the Lumberton Run Club or
Mhm.
whatever, we go down to the park, which I haven't ran I ran a couple days ago. Other than that, I have not ran much at all. I've been doing my gardening and I've been just trying to find um what I'm gonna do next,
Yeah,
because I'm like a light switch. Either I'm on or I'm off,
yeah.
And so since the 200, I've done a 40 miler for my birthday and then the 50 I did a 50 miler and I'm just kind of, you know,
Thinking what's next?
figuring out what I'm gonna do next. Mhm.
Are you thinking about like a marathon des Sables? I think that's what I would love to do. I think that's the first ultra marathon I've ever seen, like on a documentary where I watched it. And I was like, that
Which one?
marathon des Sables, you know that one? It's like I think it's in Africa or whatever. They're
Mhm.
running. It's a 3 day
No, I'd
race.
be
I think
scared
it's
to
a
death.
5 day race. They run a marathon every day. The longest day is like a 51 miler, but it's like self supported uh the whole way. Looks pretty cool. I probably couldn't
No.
do it, but who knows?
I think I would be so scared of the animals. Like, what? What is out there in Africa that's gonna eat me?
Some crazy does. Yeah, so I'm looking at what to do. I have you Western states, is that anything you think you could do, or you have to be
Mm,
it's so hard to qualify for,
no.
huh? You have to do a 100 miler every
Yeah,
year or a 50 miler qualify or something like that.
yeah.
I think 100K.
I'm not I'm not interested in Western
Okay.
states. I'm not. Um, the Silver Hills 100 miler that I did, I guess on, like, hardness level was way more difficult. It's way harder, so I don't wanna go and do a race just to do a race, like, I want it to, either be farther or harder, I like to what I'm saying? Like,
Challenge yourself.
I don't like to just yes, I don't like to just sign up for a race and do a race just
Yeah.
to do it,
Yeah.
and so,
Yeah, I think that's what I've
yeah.
gone now. Like, I mean, I've done the same races over and over again, which is fine, but I feel like I want to travel more and see different like trails, just so I could don't have to see Rocky Raccoon every year, which I've been doing. And like the Brazos Bend, it's not the most exciting trail either. And I feel like I've seen the races you've done. I'm like, man, she is like going these crazy adventures, and that's what
Mhm.
it is. Really, it's an
Yeah,
adventure each time you go out for a run. You wanna have a
it
different
is.
experience, so you wanna experience everything.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
So
And you get to go to places that you wouldn't necessarily go, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, on the trail and stuff.
mhm.
Like, if I'm not doing a 100 miler, I'm not gonna get that far out, on some so I like that part of it. But, I'm not one to just do races just to sign up for a race. I really like to have my heart set on a big goal and then go for that.
So your Lumberton Run Club, why did you decide to
Mhm.
start that? Alright, you and who else is the, captains of it?
Jenny Jenny and Amanda.
Okay.
Jenny and
So
Amanda.
it was just the 3 of you at the
Mhm.
beginning, and why and why
Mhm.
did you start that at the,
Well, I think Jenny wanted to start it, like, 7 years ago,
wow.
but we never did, and then we were just like, "Let's just start it, like, let's just start a run club." So we just decided to finally start it,
Has it been
so
difficult? Like, whenever I started my Golden Triangle Strutters, for a long time, nobody showed up for, like, the first, like, 3 months until some people showed up, and I was
mhm.
posting everywhere. Nobody came until, you know, 3 months later, one person came, and then we're like, "Oh, man, we got 1 runner now." But I
Yeah, we got someone. Well, I think there's consistent people that show up more than me. Like, I haven't been showing up much at all right now, but we always that's where we run anyways. Like, that's where we meet up to
Mhm.
run, like, as friends? So it's like anybody extra that shows up is just a
Yeah.
plus. You know what I'm saying? Because we were gonna be out there. So, I mean, we've had quite a few I feel like quite a few people show up, and then for the run club, I did, like, my pretend 40-mile race
Mhm.
for my birthday, and,
So you ran all 40
there was
miles
quite a
out there? Because, if y'all don't know 421, the park over there, it's a 1-mile loop, so
1-mile loop. Yeah. And I know some people hate it because it's, just 1-mile loop, but, I think it's a great spot to work on your mental
yeah?
strength. because you can stop at your car anytime you want and leave, and then it's boring. Like that, I mean, you're literally going in circles. So I think it's just good to just work on your mental strength,
Yeah.
and then you can zone out.
Yeah.
You can also zone out
I
real
feel like
easy, and I
it's
like
almost like
spots like
running
that.
on a tread, because I run there quite often too. It's almost like
Mhm.
running on a treadmill, because you don't have to think about if you're
You
turning
don't have
here,
to think.
you're just going in circles the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yep, and you can just zone out or, visit with your friends and y'all, so I like it.
So your run club, do you guys run together? Or is everybody's doing their own pace, or how's that work?
Um, we have some that stay together, and then we have some that are, like, really fast,
Okay.
that are working on speed and stuff like that.
And there's some
So,
trails out there, aren't there? Some trails like you go around. I know there's like the frisbee. I've never done them, but they look like there's like frisbee trails or something that you could go
there's a
around.
Frisbee trail that you can, like, make the loop a little bit bigger
Uh huh.
and loop on the little Frisbee trail. Yeah, I don't think it adds a whole lot to it, but it does change it up and, you know,
Yeah, I think that's
give
the good thing
something different.
about your club is that you have like multiple leaders, so that if one person doesn't show up, it doesn't like end the club for the day. That's how ours was. It's like it got to be too much pressure for me to keep doing it week after week after week. So
Ha
that's
Yeah,
why we gave it
yeah,
up now. So,
mhm.
but it is rewarding seeing that everybody come together. Yeah, I know people are buying the shirts, and I like your shirts. Uh,
Yeah, you like it?
yeah, did you design it? Was that your design?
No, no, this is Amanda. She has the little T-shirt company and stuff
Oh,
like that,
okay.
so she was able to make us some
Oh, nice.
sweatshirts
I
and
need to
some
get with her.
swag and stuff.
Get her to make
Yeah.
our golden triangle shirts and everybody else's shirts.
Yeah, you need to, yes, yeah.
We'll talk about that later. So you said you do other kind of training. What are you, like a CrossFit person? Because I saw some pictures. You look
Mm-mm,
pretty muscular. Like you do some stuff.
mm. No, I don't do CrossFit, I do CrossFit, I guess, type workouts
Hmm.
here in my driveway. So that's what I do. I'll do, like, weights and then run,
Hmm.
weights, run, sled pulls, run, running with my jump rope. Like, I do that
Run with
full
your jump
body
rope.
type weights. Yeah, I'll run with my jump rope down the driveway.
So you're jumping
Yeah.
rope, running at the same time. Interesting. That's
Yeah, so
I,
I do stuff like that.
interesting. That's fun. So, I mean, that makes you a well-rounded athlete, because I feel like that's why you're probably not injured, knock on wood, is because you are doing like strength training, and a lot of runners they don't focus on like doing those type of movements, because we are so
Yeah.
like quad dominant, and whenever you see a lot
Mhm.
of people get injured that way.
Yeah.
So how about your nutrition? I know you're a farmer. You got lots of stuff. No.
No, no, my nutrition's not it. No,
What are you eating? Are
no.
you eating the nerd clusters during your ultra
I
marathon?
I oh, yeah, I eat all the things. So, on my 200 miler, it was in the middle of the night. It's probably 2 a.m. My husband came in. He cooked me hot brownies, and he came into the aid station and brought me hot brownies and milk. So, like,
That's
I
love.
just eat all the things, all the things. Yeah, no restrictions.
That's good. Because I did see I do want to, like, because I do a Beaumont foodie. I want to go to your
Mhm.
421
Oh, you
farm
yes,
stand
that would be so much fun.
and do a little video over
Yes.
there. Just get some
Yeah,
eggs or
that would be
wherever you guys
fun.
have. Look at your books and all
Mhm.
that. So
Let me know when you come so I can have it really, like, set up nice for you. All the extras.
so tell everybody what that hope you farm guys stand enjoyed this
Mhm.
is. Like, what podcast is it with Summer exactly? Why Corville. did you You decide never to
Mhm.
know put that
Mhm.
one up there? person sitting next to you
The
in the
farm
bus,
stand's,
or
like, just a
in the
little
line in the
stand, like,
grocery,
out by
or maybe just
the
somebody you're
road by our
seeing
garden,
at your kids' recital.
and,
They might be a
we have lots of
badass ultra
chicken, so we have
marathoner.
lots of
Just
eggs,
have to find
and
out
we
their
put the eggs
story.
out
That's why
there.
I'm here to tell
I have a
you
really big
all
garden,
those
so
stories
anything
of all
extra
those
we put
crazy
out
people
there.
just
And
like
then,
us that are
I have
running these
friends
ultra
that,
marathons and
sell
marathons.
things or
So
make
hope you guys enjoyed
soaps
this
and
one. Thank
stuff
you,
like
Summer, again
that,
for
and I
being
let
on the
them put
podcast. Don't
whoever wants
forget
to
to
put
like,
stuff out there
subscribe,
can put
comment,
stuff
do all
out
those
there to
things so
try
this
to sell
podcast
it.
can be seen by many
And
more
then,
people. And I'll see you guys on the next
flowers,
podcast
raise some
happening
flower bouquets,
every
put those out
other
there.
Monday.
So just whatever we think of to put out there.
So it's all based on an honor system on how you pay. Is that what it
Mhm.
is?
Well, I have prices out there, and then I have a little money lockbox.
Do you have a Venmo thing
Or
too?
PayPal. Yeah,
PayPal?
PayPal, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Mhm.
wondering because I do want to try like some fresh eggs because it's been a while. So,
Have you ever tried fresh eggs before?
in the Philippines, because I used to live in the Philippines for a little bit. Uh, I would get eggs and they didn't have to be refrigerated. I didn't know. I was like, why
Yeah, they
nobody
don't have
refrigerates their
to.
eggs? Because
Mhm.
not they wash them over here. So I wanna see how yellow your egg yolks
Yeah.
are.
Oh, oh, and
So I'll come by, do a little video one day. I'll have my
yeah,
whole
that would
little
be cool.
little thing.
Yeah.
So, so the ultra running, do you also do a lot of hiking as well?
Like, during my runs?
No, like in like
Or
just for fun, like you go
in
out to the Grand Canyon or wherever.
So, when we go to our trips to Colorado and stuff for my races, we do little hikes with the family and stuff like that. And then, me and my cousin Austin, we're gonna go on a, is it 5-day backpacking trip in,
Wow,
the Sawtooth Mountains in
wow,
July. Yeah.
wow, that sounds fun.
So that's gonna be a hike.
So, do you ever do any self-supported stuff, like just run for runs besides your 40 miler for your birthday and the other one, the 50 miler?
The 50 miler was a race with,
That was a race.
Blaze. Yeah. Let's see. No, I mean, I'll do a marathon. When I was training, I was doing 30 miles at the park,
Yeah.
or marathons at the park or whatever, just on my own.
So you really
I
did do
do that
all your
during,
training at the park, huh? All your long runs, the 30 miles?
pretty much, other than I did the 69 miler, which was a race,
Mhm.
like the races that I had. But other than that, yeah, I did it at the park. I actually ran a marathon. How many weeks did I make it? I ran a marathon a week at the park for, like, 7 weeks.
Wow, that's
So
impressive.
that was, like, my long run, and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how many times in a row can
Did
I
you
do a
run?
marathon?" So yeah.
So tell me about that letter that race director wrote to you, telling everybody or telling you that it was the most impressive thing that he's seen out of 10,000 runners. What was that race
That
and what
was
was that about?
that that was, Silver Hills 100.
Mhm.
So, that race, he actually ran it too, so every once in a while, he'll run a race that he puts on. And so he was running that race. So during the race, he talked to me some to figure out where you from or whatever.
Mhm, mhm.
And so he found out I was from Texas. He found out that the farthest I've ever ran was a 50-miler race. I've never been above, that high in altitude. I live at sea level.
Yeah.
Never ran that high before. And then during that race, I was chasing those cutoffs, and so it was there was a point where I was coming in as I had to be leaving, so
Mhm.
I came into that last cutoff, and they were having to strip my night stuff off, get me ready to send me on down the trail, and I just had to go. So it was like I was coming in very hot. I think I had 20 minutes to spare on the cutoff coming in on that race, and it was kinda like, I was like, I guess the underdog,
Mhm.
from Texas. You've never done anything like this, and so I think that's probably what it had to do with. So,
Wow. I mean,
yeah.
that's impressive. All of that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people from here, I'm telling y'all, we live in flat Texas. We
It's
train
so flat.
in bridges
Mm,
or parking garages or pulling sleds like,
mhm.
on your
Yeah.
driveway. So yeah,
Yep.
for you
But
to be one of those runners that are doing these 40,000 feet of elevation races, I mean that's super impressive. I think that
thank
imagine if
you.
you lived in Colorado or somewhere else. Imagine how much more
Yeah.
badass you would be.
Yeah, I know, I'm missing my full potential.
Like the
Dang
true
it.
trading. Just imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me, so what words of wisdom would you give somebody like who's out there who wants to do what you're doing, or who's starting their journey on running?
Um, do it scared. I know
Mm,
that sounds cliche or whatever, but I feel like you have to do stuff scared and you have to do stuff when the odds are against you. You don't think you can. And I think you just need to go for it. I feel like if you have that burning desire in your heart to do something and it's not leaving, just go for it.
mhm.
Just do it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I like that. Like, I remember I won a free race for the Rocky Raccoon. It was either the 50 miler or the 50K, and I was like, I could do the 50K. It was I hadn't trained that at that time, but I was like, the 50 miler is going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a little bit more
mhm.
scarier, but that's why you live life, to see if
Yeah.
you could do something that you think that's impossible. So once you do the
Mhm.
impossible, then like you said, you want to find your limits, and maybe one
Yeah,
day,
and that bar keeps changing.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll be like you. The 250 miler won't be too far.
You
See, you started watching me doing the 5Ks. Now you've done well surpassed me already. Now you're 250 miles, 300 miles. So what is next for you? Are you looking for another longer distance, or an equal distance to 200 miles, or what? What are you thinking?
okay. So, this might not be good for your YouTube channel, okay? Because I can't disclose fully what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I have a plan. I have something that has sparked that desire in my heart.
Okay.
So, it's gonna be solo and it's just gonna be me doing it on my own. It's not a race or anything like that. And the distance is pretty a lot farther than 200.
Wow.
So, but the reason why I don't want to um make it like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing," is because I am thinking that this what I'm gonna do hasn't been done before.
Okay.
So I want to do it and I don't want someone else to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I just want to get ready. I want to get trained. I want it to be there and then be like, "Oh, this is what I'm about to go do." You know?
Okay. Sounds fun.
So, yeah, but I'll let you know whenever I'm ready to go out there and do it. So,
I feel like you can do the challenge in Houston. There was a guy who did the FKT for the 610 loop. It's,
what is that?
it's basically running the 610 loop. So it's 50, I think it's 48 miles, but you're literally
Uh-huh.
running the 610 loop. And only
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 people have done it. I think one female, and the rest are males. So you could
That
totally
would
get
be
the
fun.
FKT
That would be
for the 610 loop.
yeah, yeah.
The only
But
problem is that there is that large bridge over there
mhm.
that's the only place that you actually have to run on the road to on the 610 loop. It's like a
Oh,
huge,
yeah,
like
with
a
all the traffic.
but they said in the morning it's fine. The guy who told me, because he messaged me. I was thinking of doing it before I broke my ankle. Uh but yeah.
The ankle's fixed though, right?
Oh, ankle's good now. I'm back to training 100% now.
So
So
now you can do it. You can do it now.
I could do it. Oh,
You
but
can get
I
your
need to train a little more. I am still so out of breath, barely running. So, but
same,
we,
same, same.
so I think I like how you train. Like it's like equivalent to what I do. Like not too crazy, but you get your runs in when you can, and it's all
Mhm.
about being mental. And I feel like you're super mentally tough to do everything that
Yeah.
you do. So that's awesome.
Mhm. Thank you.
So we'll do one last thing. It's called this or that. It's simple.
Oh, no.
You just pick one or the other. There's no wrong questions. You might want to expand on whatever you pick. All right. So the first
Okay.
one is hamburgers or pizza. Which one do you choose?
Pe Pizza.
Pizza. And
Pizza.
what's your
Mhm.
favorite pizza around here or do you cook your own pizza?
She no, I don't cook. I mean, I guess I do cook. I mean, Little Caesars with the breadsticks.
Yeah, I like Little Caesars. Little
Yeah,
Caesars is underrated.
yeah,
I really like Little Caesars.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
yeah,
It's good when it's fresh. When it's reheated, not so good.
yeah. True, true.
All right, the next one is ultra marathon or marathon. I'm pretty sure I know which one.
Ultra marathon for sure, for sure.
This one is I was gonna put larger distances, but we'll stick with this: 50 miler or 100 miler. Which one do you like better?
100 miler.
Man, you were just all about the
Mhm.
distance.
Yeah.
The fourth one is new shoes or a free race.
A free race. Have you searched any of my stuff about my
Yeah.
shoes? Like,
Oh,
my shoes are nasty. Like, I'm not yeah, I'll run if I find a pair of shoes, old shoes, I like them. I don't care. Like, they
you
can have holes in them, and I'm
so you
still
run them
rocking
to
them.
death, huh?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
shoes are you running in
So,
right
free
now?
race. Right now, I do the Saucony, I'm not gonna know how to pronounce it. Para
Mm.
para is it a
Paradigm?
a bird?
I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I run in the 12s, so they are, like, old, old, old. I found these on Amazon, like, complete out of date, so,
Okay.
yeah.
The last one is we kind of talked about this, but the last one is Western States or Boston Marathon. But would you run the
Mm.
Boston? Which one would you run? Because you really don't want to run Western or
I would do Western States
okay.
over Boston, yeah, but I mean, I don't like running fast anyway, so I have no interest in Boston, thankfully.
All right. Well, that's it. Any other last words you want to share with anything or anything else you want to share before I let you
No,
go? That's
no,
it.
think that's yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks so much for being on the podcast, and I appreciate your time, Summer. I want to let people know about you because, yeah, you are a badass, and I've been following you the last year and a half, where however long, and I'm like, what the heck? This lady has been doing some awesome things. So I'm very
Thank
impressed
you,
by
I
you. That's
appreciate it.
why I wanted you to be on the podcast. So thanks so much for being
Thank
on.
you. I was completely flattered when you asked me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you asked me to be on." So
Nah,
thank you.
200 miles. That's it's just ridiculous. It's crazy. So, all right, Summer. Thanks so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast with Summer Corville. You never know that person sitting next to you in the bus or in the line in the grocery, or maybe just somebody you're seeing at your kid's recital. They might be a badass ultra marathoner. Just have to find out their story. And that's why I'm here to tell you all those stories of all those crazy people just like us that are running these ultra marathons and marathons. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you, Summer, again for being on the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all those things so this podcast can be seen by many more people. And I'll see you guys on the next podcast happening every other Monday.